Why do people reject love? Probably the same as me, the same you as well. We each experienced both ways. And when our love was rejected by somebody, and when we rejected the love from another person. Even though I'm going to talk in this video about love in romantic relationship sense, this information you can apply to any relationship that is based on love. And in my opinion, each relationship should be based on love. Because if we love ourselves, we love another person that we relate with. But okay, rejection. Why do people reject love? Two ways also it could be. When you are in the relationship, in committed romantic relationship, and your partner rejects your love. I've been there, I know how it feels. When you come from the best space with the best intentions and feelings, but your partner rejects it, pulls back, goes silent, treats you with silence, disappears, or closes down and not giving you vulnerable emotions back when you express your own vulnerability, right? And another way, when the relationship never reached that stage of commitment. At the first stage before going into commitment, when your love was rejected or when you rejected somebody's love. So, why do people do that? Why do people reject such beautiful thing as love? If you're curious, keep watching. Welcome back, guys. If you came to this point of the video, probably you are very curious. Why do people reject love? And probably it will answer to the question why you did reject love at some point in your life. So, as I like to say, every and each human's behavior has the roots in their own family, in the past, in the childhood. All the behavior is based on childhood traumas, childhood experiences. Until they heal those, they become aware and then they create new patterns of behavior that still could be a bit impacted on the past. But first of all, before I dive deeper into this topic, why people reject love, I want to clarify what love actually is. Because then we will be able to understand clearly what the person is rejecting. So, what is love? Such a global question, wide question, right? But it's more simple than we think. Love is emotion. Emotion that consists of many pleasant feelings that feel so good. For example, happiness, joy, satisfaction, gratitude, inspiration, creativity, all that good stuff. It's love. Also, it's the highest form of the energy. It's also scientifically proven already that the feeling of love holds very high energetic vibration and it's creative energy. So love creates. Also, love is associated with a feminine energy because feminine energy is responsible for creativity, because through feminine energy there is connection with the divine, with the source, with an all-knowing, all that is, that we get intuitive hints from what to do, where to go, how to go about. And that creativity that comes also from the divine, because we feel things, we feel life and situations. So it's also feminine energy. So now when we know what actually person is rejecting, they are rejecting feelings and intuition. So next question is, why then a person is rejecting that part of themselves, who they are, that emotional part of themselves, right? Again, it all comes down in childhood experiences. And the reasons possibly are few of them. The main reason, because their feminine side, the side of emotions and feelings and vulnerability, was abused, was violated by their caregivers, or is it parents or anybody who raised them up. And abuse could be in many different ways, or one parent was abusing, or both of them were abusing. And most likely a person who has tendency to reject love more often, to reject the emotional part of themselves, most likely both parents in one way or another participated in that emotional abuse. Because when one parent is violent emotionally and another one, let's say father, is emotionally violent and mother is extremely emotionally nurturing child, protecting, providing, and like just having surrounded by love that child, then it's not, the feelings will not be affected. The person will not shut down emotional part of themselves because it was still nurtured. But when somebody shuts down emotional part, it means both parents were participating in emotional violence. How emotional violence look like looks like, it can be in few ways. For example, physical violence also abuses emotions of a child. When a parent uses physical violence for, let's say, when a child expresses negative emotions and a parent doesn't like that, they will hit them. When a child triggers negative emotions of the parent and they don't have that emotional intelligence, they use physical violence to deal with the child. Another way of emotional abuse, when a parent is loving conditionally. If you do this, I will reward you with my love, with my affection. But if you don't do what I want, then I will ignore you, I will withdraw my love from you, and I will punish you in this way emotionally by not talking with you, for example, by not giving you money. Actually, it's not about physical materials, it's about emotional judgment. Or one more scenario possible, when a child was missing one of parents for a couple of reasons, or that parent passed away, or for some other reasons was not physically there, or if they were there physically but practically and emotionally they didn't play any role in child's life, any, neither practical neither emotional role. For example, going to the first day of the school, or to graduation event, or to the first football match, everything that is so much important for a child emotionally, they didn't participate there. So this is also emotional abuse. And if parent was not present and the other caregiver didn't nurture a child enough, then it's still emotional abuse. It's, I wouldn't call them abuse, I would call softer version of emotional trauma that child had. Because when somebody doesn't know how to nurture, they just don't give that, but they don't punish a child. So when a child grew up in the environment where one caregiver was emotionally abusive, physically or in any other way, and the other parent was not mature enough to provide that energy of feminine energy, of that nurture, of that caregiving, of that protection, emotional protection and emotional comfort, if that part was lacking as well, then that person has mommy issues. Because what mother is? Exactly. Mother is the one who nurtures the other emotionally, who provides the sense of emotional security. So if a child didn't have this experience that they are emotionally safe, then they have mommy issues. About daddy issues, I will make another video that you will find the link in the description box. But let's continue with mommy issues. It is very common to know that man has mommy issues and woman has daddy issues. Yes, it's true, but it's not the rule. I know and I see how much women have mommy issues as well, the same as man has daddy issues. So it's not about the body, it's about the energy. When somebody rejects love, that emotional part of themselves, it means they have more masculine energy dominant. And that masculine energy is not healthy, it's wounded because their feminine is wounded. So they are protecting their feminine side from being hurt again. So that's why they reject love, because they don't trust, based on their childhood or previous like experience in the past, let's say. So for example, when a man rejects love, they reject their feminine side. When woman rejects love, she also rejects her feminine side. So it means, and the man and the woman, they are more in the masculine energy. They are more operating from the mental space. They tend to overthink, overanalyze. When it's wounded masculine energy, then they start manipulating other people. They control, they have huge control issues. Wounded masculine has huge control issues. because they everything needs to be according to their plan, because they are planning everything because they avoid to be hurt. Also, depending on how deep the wound is, more wounded masculine will have commitment to the romantic relationship issues. They will reject not only love, but the commitment itself as well. Because of the same reason, they don't trust themselves. They don't trust their feelings. They always overthink what they feel and try to find a rational explanation and reasoning for that. They are stuck in their mental space, in their mind. So that emotional part of life scares them because their mind tells them a conscious or subconscious belief that if I allow myself to follow the feeling, I lose the control over the situation. I won't be alone anymore and I won't be able to control the actions of another person. And what if my feelings, that is such unstable thing, one day will change and I will be trapped in the commitment? This mindset leads to the behavior of a manipulative playboy playgirl lifestyle. Why? Because even though the wounded masculine doesn't express emotions and suppress those, anyway they are craving for emotional experience. It is like a void they have, emotional void that they try to fill by the affection they receive from other people. They try to fill that void from the sources of the outside. So they flirt around with many people, feed them with mixed signals in order to get emotional feedback, emotional comfort, and affection. But the moment shit gets real, they back off. And that's how they control the situations, by deciding how close they will allow the other person to come to them emotionally. So that energy of back and forth, push and pull, hot and cold, in and out of the relationship, that unstable energy is a clear indicator of what is going on psychologically behind the surface. So now we know why people reject love, but how to deal with that, how to stop doing that. That's a whole another topic. But in short, what I can share with you from my own experience, because I also was that wounded masculine protecting my feminine from being hurt because of my past experiences. What I did and what helped me is working on my throat chakra, on communicating my feelings, how I feel, not only when I feel good feelings, but it's very important to communicate when you don't feel good, regardless how somebody gonna take it, regardless how somebody gonna react to it. You need to speak up what you're feeling. Otherwise, you will keep depressing your feelings, and the wound will become bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's a process, it takes time, and that process covers all part of our life, our business, family relationships, friendships, and then romantic relationships as well. So my honest advice and tip how to heal this wound, this emotional wound for now, start from voicing your voice, from voicing your emotions, and then will be other steps that I will share in another video. Okay, you guys, was so glad to have you here, and see you in next videos. Ciao.